Hello everyone, Dean the Autist, and basically I decided not to take a break and just, get through the final stretch and complete this route. So, and remember, you have to take this job seriously. Too many people that think that you can just slack off, but that it isn't important. That is a dangerous way of thinking. Definitely, you can't take it too seriously. If you're always thinking big and thinking positive, and if you show any signs of weakness, people will start to think you're incompetent, you know. And soon, you won't be able to do anything because your power is going to be delegated off to others piece by piece, and you'll be left with nothing. That's what happened last time. So remember, it may seem like an easy job, but a lot of carnage can happen in this room. And out of it, dealing with school stuff too. Even trying to get a budget report from a class rep can be a fight to the death sometimes. Yeah, it's kill or be killed. There are no friends in the pits, and you and you have to take no prisoners. Are you sure about this? Is this right? You don't seem excited enough. I have to make sure I'm getting through properly once more with feeling. Oh, hello. Okay, these are new sprites. All right. Shizune twists her hand like a maestro for emphasis, visibly intimidating the two girls standing at attention in front of us. To think this all started because one of them asked if she was taking her job too seriously. Do you understand? Do you understand? Pretend I'm shouting it. Okay, the student council is so weird. Yes, sir. Sir? Who are you guys talking to anyway? It's not weird. You have to think of it as a job. If you want, think of it like they're paying you with the right to use this great office. You want another lecture? No. You can go now. Just like that, the hour-long student council orientation is over. Personally, I thought it was about 50 minutes too long, and also found it funny that it incorporated a tour of the school that we've all been going to for a while, but I guess it didn't hurt. I expect Shizune to fall back into her chair, since she has been on edge all day, but she doesn't. She continues pacing the room restlessly. They still have a long way to go. Right now, they're a joke. What? They think they could be the new student council? They're so unfocused. You can really see the lack of experience. This is our best year yet. I don't think they have what it takes to be our follow-up act. And I know there are more of them than those two girls. Where are they? They're like... And I know there are more of them than those two girls. Where are they? They're like the heavily marketed but mediocre big-budget, critically panned sequel to the acclaimed low-budget sleeper hit. Eventually, she does stop and sit down. Are you going to miss it? Obviously. I'd be happier if I didn't have to leave too. I like being in the student council, even if it can be tiring too. Yeah, it's definitely tiring. Only because Chi-chan is always trying to do more than she has to. You're forgetting that if I did the bare minimum, we wouldn't do anything all year, except hand out flyers, collect surveys, and plan the next student council election so the next student council could sit around it for another year of doing nothing. Asking me to let that happen? Don't be ridiculous. In a student council like that, there wouldn't be any power to play around with. I'm just happy that even though I clearly need to ride them harder, those two aren't bad. Not there yet, but the new student council should be in good hands. How can you tell? After the festival, they asked me if we can organize a Halloween event, like a haunted house or something along those lines. They had a bunch of other ideas as well. Of course, my response was no. I had Misha tell them to do it themselves if they wanted it so badly. They were angry for some reason. Of course they'd be angry if you said that. And Misha delivering the message wouldn't help. I was angry too. All of a sudden, they want so much. If they wanted a haunted house or a traditional style cafe, or a trip to the beach or whatever cliche thing, why didn't they try to organize it before? It's like they were taking advantage of me. I worked hard to organize those festivals, and in return they came to me with, that was nice, but can you do this now? How about doing this? It's what I really want. Chi-chan was wrong though. Right, they wanted to join the student council so they can make it happen. I made them feel jealous and riled up. That can be a kind of motivation too. The desire to do something great spreads, even if it's to show me up. They decided to take me up on the challenge nonetheless. I'm impressed. Well, for now. I would have to see how it plays out a little longer in order to know for sure. She snaps her finger suddenly, which sends Misha almost bolting out of her seat. Interesting. I guess it's impossible to get used to. That's right, we're gonna have a party to celebrate passing the reins to the new student council, aren't we? Why not have that now, or at least plan it and have it tomorrow? But they're not even in charge yet. In fact, that's the first thing you're told them. You're not in charge yet. It seems premature. Misha, what do you think? I agree it's too early. Plus, I don't think I could go anyway. Sorry. In fact, I was going to leave right now. Why not? No comment. Come on, tell me. Well, okay. A way to not crack under the pressure, Misha. I thought about it, and even if I didn't want to go, I would say yes. Usually it's kind of the person I am. I should really stop doing that. And it's a good place to start, I think. If it's a celebration to say goodbye, I don't want it. It would be too sad. I want to do something else instead. And after all, Hichan, you and Chichan will still be here tomorrow. It doesn't seem right. Besides, I have other school things I have to do today. I can't just drop them like that. We can postpone it. No early goodbyes. She looks very firm as she says this. Aren't you going to go now, though? Oh, that's right. Okay, besides now, no too early goodbyes, okay? I get it. Okay, later. With that, it's just Shizune and me left alone in the student council room. Sunset slowly changes to night as we sit in silence, both searching for something to say. Would it really be that bad? Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but Misha's right. Parties set a mood, and it would be a sad one. A sad party doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Why would it be sad? Is it a trick question? I'm sure of it. Misha's eyes pierce into mine, waiting for my answer with a detached, analytical stare that I haven't seen in a while, but feels familiar anyway. I consider my answer carefully, but also what it means for her to ask me. It could be that Shizune finds it depressing as well, or it could be that she doesn't understand why anyone would find it depressing. Both are equally plausible. I had thought that when you graduate, that's it. It's going to be the end of the student council. I was wondering if you had the same idea. Don't be stupid, I look forward to it. I won't be a student anymore, so the expectations are going to be completely different. People's expectations of me and my expectations about everything else. It seems exciting. As for the student council, it should be in good enough hands. I don't have anything to be sad about. I don't think you're being honest. You looked upset about having to give the student council up not even a few weeks ago. It wasn't about leaving it to a bunch of newbies either. It was having to stop doing student council work at all. Unexpectedly, Shizune smiles. So you're not disagreeing. Then it doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to have a party about it? I'm trying to get over it. Besides, goodbye celebrations are important. People say the first step is the most crucial, but following it through and finishing it cleanly are just as important, right? I guess that's true. Anyway, I don't consider it goodbye, but it's still an event. You still have to go through the proper motions. Aren't you going to? Aren't I going to what? Kiss me, of course? Is that the proper motions? It would be normal, wouldn't it? The natural thing to do? It's time to act decisively. If I don't, I'm sure my heart will explode. I kiss her immediately, so quickly that I don't even have time to enjoy it. Even though she was prepared for it, Shizune blushes a deep red. I feel a similar heat rising in my neck and cheeks. We got the good ending scene. Exhausted, I lean back against a desk and try to regain my breath before putting my clothes back on. I notice a dull hot throbbing in my chest as I button my shirt back up. It puts a bad aftertaste on everything that just happened. It was a lucky break that Misha couldn't be here, wasn't it? You're in an unusually joking mood today. I wonder what she had to do. Shizune traces the air lazily with a finger and points to the door. Go see for yourself. Why don't you just tell me? It'd be more interesting if you see for yourself. Seeing is believing. Sure, clever, maybe I will. What about you? Are you going to stay here all day? It's getting late. It feels like my last day as student council president, so maybe I'll sleep here tonight. It could be the last chance I have to sleep at my desk, like after a long day trying to meet a deadline. That's weird. I'll sleep in my bed. Sleeping sitting up is a skill, a very useful one. Right. For a moment after I leave the room, I actually do consider seeing what Misha is up to, before Shizune made it sound so secretive, as if she were building a time machine or something, but in the end I decide not to. The night air is pleasant at this time of year. It's refreshing and a little humid, but not so chilly as to make it uncomfortable to stay outside for a while. It's late enough for the courtyard to be all but deserted too. After Shizune and I said our farewells to each other, I'd set a... Am I seeing that correctly? Hold on. I'll have to check the video file, but anyways. After Shizune and I said our farewells to each other, I set out to return to my dormitory room. I didn't even make it all the way there, though, before getting distracted. It doesn't seem like a bad idea to see what Misha is up to. I have nothing better to do. No homework, and I'm out of anything worth reading. On top of that, I simply want to know. This isn't my first time being in the main building after hours, but usually it's as I'm leaving the place with Shizune and Misha after a long day at the student council, not entering it alone. The atmosphere is quiet, a word I would not normally use to describe these halls. It's a little creepy. A light starts flickering up ahead. This seems like a horror movie moment waiting to happen. Feeling a hand on my shoulder, I stiffen reflexively. It's not Misha, or else there would be hands clamped over my eyes and a sing-song Guess Who accompanying them. So who is it? I hope it's not Kenji, or at least it's someone I know, or this can take a turn for the weird. Whoever it is quickly slips in front of me. It's Shizune. What are you doing here? I'm so relieved I forget to sign it. Shizune puts a finger to her lips. I guess even though she can't hear, she has an idea of what loudness is, and can tell from my expression that I was being loud, and apparently being loud isn't a good thing right now. But then, why is Misha her interpreter? Oh, very funny. Why are you here? I was waiting for you to come see. I knew you would show up. It took you a while, though. You've been waiting here? Yes, but that isn't important. We have to be stealthy if we don't want Misha to detect us. Tell me if I'm not being stealthy enough, okay? With that, Shizune starts slowly tiptoeing through the middle of the hall. I pat her on the shoulder to get her attention. That's not stealthy. Why do we have to be stealthy? She refuses to answer, probably because signing and walking stealthily at the same time doesn't look easy. Before I know it, we're in front of our homeroom. Suddenly, a sound like the crack of a whip pierces, followed by a familiar expression of frustration. I'm sure a sound like that isn't good for my heart. Not to mention, everything sounds about a million times louder with how silent it is. It's coming from inside the room, and I sidle up to Shizune to look inside. Can you stop throwing your pencil, please? How do you even throw a pencil that loudly? He looks very flustered. What an understatement. I sympathize with Mutuo. I was able to hear Misha's pen break the sound barrier even through a wall and a thick classroom door. It probably blew out his eardrums and left an imprint on the wall. I'm not throwing it. When I get nervous, I like to spin around, but then I forget I'm holding onto it, and... I forgot this scene existed. I did not remember this scene. It doesn't matter either way. There shouldn't be pencils flying around. I get enough of that during regular school hours. I don't need it after hours. Right, sorry. Whatever, just stop throwing or releasing or dropping things, please. Teachers have work too. I notice Shizune watching the same scene I am. Mutuo is yelling at the top of his lungs and Misha is being Misha. I can hear them reasonably well through the door, but Shizune obviously can't hear anything at all, so I wonder what watching this is like for her. She must know since she understands well enough to want me to see it too, but I have to wonder if she ever feels like she's missing out on something, having to work that much harder to understand what she's observing. It looks like she's taking supplementary lessons, is she? Yeah. I answer. Despite knowing the question, it's completely rhetorical. Misha told me she really wants to be a sign language teacher in the future. If she can get a recommendation, she can study overseas for it. That's why she's working so hard. Her grades were always kind of on the low side. Now I feel guilty. I haven't even thought of what I'm going to do yet. Neither have I. The cheerful way that she signs it is very unlike her, and is very obviously false. Let's get out of here. We don't want to be seen. It would be a problem if we're caught standing out here like idiots. Where? The student council room? Shaking her head, she slips into the classroom across the hall instead. Great hiding place. You're unusually sarcastic lately. With the door closed, it's a good one anyway. Wasn't it interesting? Yes, but I'm not really surprised. I close the door behind us, prompting Shizune to laugh soundlessly as she slides into a chair. For a second, it depresses me. I want to hear a real laugh. I've been looking down on Misha. I didn't think she had a goal at all, but it turns out I was wrong. I made a careless assumption. I thought Misha was as aimless as I was. I was stupid. I lost. Shizune pauses to crack her knuckles, then folds her hands over each other and leans forward in her chair. The abnormal quiet of the building. I can hear Mutuo yelling at Misha again, even across the hallway and through 2 doors. Shizune's eyes are locked on mine, unblinking the gleaming lenses of her glasses, observing my reaction to her words. This is a test. Her opinion of people is rarely formed from how they respond to questions. It's how they respond to statements that count. In hindsight, it makes sense. Shizune's inability to speak, as well as her personality in general, means that anything she says is a big commitment on her part. Everything. For that reason, I sometimes doubt she says anything without a hidden agenda behind it. That sounds remarkably paranoid. Even Kenji would think so. Unfortunately, I'm so caught up in thinking about it that I forget to give her an answer. She takes it as there not being one. There was an invisible time limit to this test, shorter than usual. Just as I thought. What do you mean? You don't agree? Not really, it's just that I don't get it. I want to force my will on people. How refreshingly honest. Don't give me a weird look like that. It's not like it was always my intention. At first I was just bored. I wanted to see someone's passion for something. Then I would try and beat them. I wanted to test their ability or their convictions. But it was impossible. No one has any passion for anything in this school. They just want to keep them themselves. I can't believe it. It's too boring that way. I thought there was no way these drab people could be for real. It just goes beyond not wanting to make waves. They had to have some interests. They had to be hiding something. I wanted to expose it and reveal it and drag it out. One of the most successful ways to get people to open up to you and cheer them up is to open up with a story about yourself. And then you ease them into telling you about themselves. I mean, I guess. Personally, I prefer I prefer waiting until they start telling me something, and then asking them questions about it. I call it the solid snake method. Because, I was reading a book the other day, and I'm like, a book? I'm like, yeah, I was reading a mystery novel. Oh, that sounds interesting. I sort of do that instead, but I guess it's different people and all that. Anyway. It's like give and take, but with an element of manipulation, which makes it interesting. I can't do that. If I attempt to have Misha talk about me, for me, it makes me seem arrogant. The message has to go through a messenger. I'm standing next to Misha, telling her to tell someone about me. You don't have to be able to read sign language to see that. If I were forced to sit through that, I would think I was arrogant too. I was frustrated. I couldn't figure out a way to have a conversation with anyone but Misha. No one would open up to me. I came to the conclusion that I can't make people confide in me or believe in me. I can only hope to create things and show them to people, and hope they make them happy. Or I could be more forceful and hope it would eventually stick to someone. I guess that would be me. Feels vaguely depressing. Somewhere along the line, I think I started to ignore Misha, or see her as less of a person or something like that. I took her for granted. I think would be the best way to put it. It was like she was just an extension of myself. I forgot that the whole time Misha was there, opening up to me and giving me 100% every day. I missed what I was looking for because it was in plain sight. How stupid of me. I really did become arrogant. That's why I've lost. I'm more short-sighted than I was back then. I went in reverse. She's pacing back and forth now, almost brooding, yet still filled with so much energy that she can't stand to stop moving. If you got her to hold 2 wires, I'm sure Shizune could power a light bulb. It's odd that I could have such a light-hearted thought while being so serious. In spite of that, Misha tells me that I'm her inspiration. Isn't that ridiculous? I'm not that kind of person who can inspire others. Even if a person who inspires you is flawed, it can be acceptable. I've thought about this. There is even acceptable hypocrisy. For instance, if your hero was an athlete but unsportsmanlike, they could still be respected for their athletic ability, even if they had shortcomings as a person. However, Shizune snaps her fingers briskly. It sounds like a thunderclap in the empty room, and Shizune takes a few seconds to stretch her fingers. Come to think of it, this is the most she has ever signed. If someone like me has no goals, it would be totally unacceptable. It'd be the worst kind of hypocrisy, and hypocrites don't deserve responsibility over anything. They can't even manage themselves. How incredibly pessimistic. It makes me angry to think about it. I would hate myself just a few months ago. This must be how I look to others. And funny enough, it was Shizune and Misha who convinced me to stop. Without them, I'm sure things would be much different and not for the better. Lately, I feel as though we pass around our miseries as much as we're supported by each other. But I think it comes with the territory of having friends and being close to someone. You're the leader anyway. It's only because no one else wants to be. But that means you still are, since people are putting their trust in you anyway. In fact, doesn't that make it more important? Either way, you are the leader. You are the inspirational figure or whatever you want to call it. You're responsible for what you tame. I read that in a book somewhere. That's clever. Shizune only seems to show what she's feeling on her face when she wants to, but I don't think she's being sarcastic. I don't want to tame anyone though. Being the leader and being looked up to them, same thing. I never wanted to be the leader, it just ends up that way. I don't believe that. All you do is try to grab more and more responsibility. Wait, I wasn't going to tell you that I enjoy it. I don't care about being the leader, but I don't mind. I don't care about being the best, but I don't mind. You're right, though, about me wanting responsibility. Of course I want responsibility. Having responsibility makes me feel alive. That's why I joined the student council. If there's no pressure, I just can't stand it. Even so, now that I'm the leader, I always thought being the leader meant you give orders, but it really is more. It's about having a goal. If you don't have a goal, then it's pointless. People would only be following me for my own enjoyment. It would be selfish. It's a strangely moral viewpoint for a person who seems to love one-upping others so much. Resting her chin on her tented fingers, Shizune looks disarmedly childish as she thinks hard about her problem. The expression on her face is a little comical because it's too obvious and therefore very unlike her. It comes with a job. I think you'd have to be a leader. You wouldn't be satisfied with anything else. You would just get bored. Shizune doesn't reply, but from her annoyed expression, I think I've guessed it correctly. I've been thinking that I need a little direction too. Were you told that it's important to contribute to society? What an unusual response. It's so out of nowhere that I don't know how to respond, and it also bothers me. Though I don't know why. Possibly because it doesn't seem like something that would come from her. So I start to think that it isn't. It isn't Shizune's thought at all. I wonder who told her that. It was probably her dad, but there's a chance that she came up with it on her own. If so, it would be because she can't hear. Why do you say that? Just because. I don't believe it. I guess that's right, though. I see. I don't know if it's the same for me. I hate it. I think everyone wants purpose. Looking back, it makes sense Shizune doesn't have one. All that energy would otherwise have been directed at something. Since she had nothing to channel it towards, Shizune is lashed out in all directions. It reminds me of a downed power line flailing in a storm. Furious and incandescent, but aimless and dangerous, just like Shizune. I want to say that this is why she feels the need to turn everything into a competition, but that's probably just how she is. Having a goal to put that energy towards is just the next level. How about this? I could go into business. My family is well connected, so it wouldn't be too hard. That comes off sounding a little unethical and nepotistic, doesn't it? Here's the thing. The thing with nepotism is that is one of the most natural, right, ways to get employed in history. For example, right, let's say back in olden times, right, your father was a farmer, right, and that farm was passed down from generation to generation until it went down to your father. Well, you grow up, right, you learn how to farm. Guess what? The farm goes to you. That's how it was for most of human history. Your family is in one job. Well, guess what? You're probably going to go down that job. Like, I really don't understand why people have such a problem with nepotism, especially when that's how it was for almost all of human history. But, anyways. Like, I get it for, like, I guess managerial positions, especially since certain people are not meant to be managers or whatever. But, like, you know, whatever. A little. I won't coast, though. I'll work hard until I'm at the very apex. When I have so much money as possible, so much that it'll be like I won't know what to do with it, I'll move on to the next step. After sitting on it for a while, of course, like a fairy tale dragon. You want to be? A philanthropist. Tisk. What are you thinking, that I want to be a miser? Well, it's true. It is part of the plan. Don't sell me short and stop there, though. Shizune looks uneasy. Of course, even if she did seem to resolve her problem quickly, no one can get over their anxieties that fast. No one can solve their problems that easily. The important thing is, it looks as though she has her heart set on trying. It's still hard to tell whether that drive of hers comes from a good or a bad place. But she has something to hold on to now. I can genuinely believe that she does. I'm happy for her. And at the same time, I feel a little cold. I'm the one who's behind. Now I'm the one without a goal. Yay! Okay, so infinity, is this... Yep, okay. So, this is the good ending scene, so... We are almost there. There haven't been any further disruptions since last week. Of course, that's what I thought the week before that, and Shizune's and Misha's newfound clarity had left me feeling a little lost and envious. I thought there was no way I could rest easy at the time, but fortunately, nothing came of my worries. Then, before I knew it, there was enough to deal with in school that I even managed to put them off my mind, and still, everything was fine. I was wrong. I'd seen Shizune and Misha's carefully hidden vulnerabilities, but they were still strong. Now we're going to be graduating soon. I've grown so comfortable here that it kind of crept up on me. When it did, I felt sad and didn't want to think about it, so I didn't, not until recently. About a week ago, I started making a list of people I thought I should say goodbye to before graduation. The first rule I laid out for myself was that I would try not to write them down in any kind of special order, from like least important to most important. Somehow it ended up like that anyway. Even though it also ended up being a shorter list than I expected to be, Kenji is somewhere in the middle. They said I would have to graduate eventually. Well, I showed them. I've lived here rent-free for more than long enough. If you take into account the rising cost of land, I think you could say I've won in the end. No, you know what? I did win. History will acknowledge me as the victor. The victor of what? I managed to stay out of sight and slip through the cracks. I beat the system. If you put it that way, it sounds like you just ran away from the system. Sometimes running is just the greatest form of victory, like in the Olympics. I'm too tired to even argue with him. Who is he kidding? Everyone knows the shot put is the best Olympic event in any case. So what you're basically saying is, you won't miss it? Miss what? School, dummy. Now I told you, this place is too filled with feminists. It's beyond saving. But at least I'll be able to get out before it reaches critical mass. I'll only come back years later when they build a statue to honor me. Do they do the 10-year later reunion thing here? I don't know. How would I know that? Probably. Anyway, I have to start packing now. Take care of yourself, man. Yeah, I'm not going to my high school reunion. Fuck them. Okay, I'm done. You should have packed a week ago like I did. Not that I had much to pack. That's just how it goes. You're supposed to do everything at the last minute. Men are better at doing everything at the last minute. The last minute can have more productivity than like the entire week before it. It's how we keep the shit fair. Pfft, you'll never understand our manly ways. You take care of yourself too. With a salute, he shoots backwards through the door, slamming it shut behind him, hard enough that the entire dorm probably heard it. I've noticed that a lot of people slam doors here. Maybe it's a local thing. Take care of myself is the first thing I've heard him take care of myself. It's the first time I've heard him say it. Usually he ends our conversations with something like, see ya, I'll pay you back later, man. Well, he was a little annoying sometimes, but I'll miss him. I cross him off my list mentally. The list is very short now, and I once again disregard the notion of going through it in any kind of order. Like I said, I never had that intention, so, Again, Shizune, Meisha, probably Lily, maybe Hanako. I don't know. I guess he knows, like, Emmy and Rin. Like, he did have lunch with them once in this timeline. So, I guess Emmy, Rin. Definitely Mutuo. Is that all? Is that all of them? I don't know, I guess the two student council members. Okay, whatever. The two future student council members. So, yeah. So I go out to look for Shizune and Misha. I can only think of one place they can be. The student council room, of course. Turning the corner, I almost bump into a small group of students. For a second, a bitter feeling flashes through me, since for all I know, that could have been fatal. It's the new student council. There are a lot of them, but even more than 3, which is good, since it means there's enough of them that they can each have their own title. It would have been cool if I could have had a little desk plaque with my name and title on it. I don't think they do that now, or ever did, unfortunately. The new student council surrounds me while I'm thinking. If anyone were looking at this from afar, it would be a pretty sinister sight. Maybe they have come to finally get back at me for calling them the new student council all those times. I was just translating for Shizune, but I guess I should have been less lazy and more tactful. I regret nothing. I find myself being thanked for everything I've done. I'm being thanked. This should make me happy, considering how often I would think to myself that being in the student council was a completely thankless job. It does make me happy, but I can't enjoy it fully. I wonder how things would have turned out if our student council had grown as large as the one that's set to replace us. Even though they've only got 2 or 3 other members, it's enough that they have set roles, not like us, where Shizune seemed to be president, but that was it. The new student council thanking me gives me a strange feeling. It's like coming back home and seeing that a tree you've nurtured years before has grown. But I feel like I didn't nurture that tree enough. I wonder what more I could have done. It would likely make Shizune furious that I would feel distant from what I did in the student council this way, or that I'd imply I didn't do enough, but it's true. I was only following her. So in a way, I also feel like I'm viewing that same tree from far away, as if I'm seeing it from the window as a train as it passes by. I indulge in these thoughts for too long. When I snap out of it, I realize I'm still standing there, surrounded by the new student council. The only thing I can do is... and I do the only thing I can do and apologize for zoning out. Then I thank them back. When they walk away, I enter the student council room. It looks a lot messier, but seems to have gained a computer. It makes sense. I recall one of the clipboard girls talking about their plans to use a computer to make all the boring data entry Shizune does more tolerable. I can't remember which one said it, though Aoi seems to be the more ambitious one. But then again, Keiko appears more serious. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not alone in the room, but instead of finding Shizune here like I expected, it's just Misha. She's sitting on Shizune's desk, like Shizune herself often does, swinging her legs back and forth. When our eyes meet, she hops off and inexcitably poses like a superhero. Hi, Hee-chan, I'm surprised to see you here. What are you doing? You first. I was looking for Shizune. Me too. I thought you would be here. But I got a lot of Hee-chan instead. Gee, thanks. Well, this is good. Really. I wanted to talk to you anyway. About what? I take the time to glance around the room a little more. I see a hot plate. They are really living high. I wanted to say sorry, of course, for all the trouble I made for you and Chi-chan. Don't call it trouble. Right. Don't apologize to Shizune. Right. But that isn't why I'm here, Hee-chan. I wouldn't apologize to Chi-chan since you're here. I want to ask you a question. Hee-chan, what do you think it would take for Chi-chan to be happy? World domination, obviously. Even though you're joking, Hee-chan, no, even if she could, it wouldn't make Chi-chan happy. Only for a little while. Hee-chan, have you ever heard of artists who tear up their paintings as soon as they finish them? Such people really exist in the world, you know. I remembered it all of a sudden. It's just like Chi-chan now that I think about it. Whenever Chi-chan sets up a challenge for herself and completes it, she acts like her skills have no meaning anymore. I wonder, is it because she can't create anything permanent? It's just like those artists, and how they want to create a piece of art to leave behind. A really great one, but can't do it. It's really obvious when I look back at it, but I didn't see it before. Now I'm scared. I wonder if Chi-chan will ever be happy. No, I don't think so. Not about her ever being happy. I think you're wrong. Shizune is actually happy more often than I thought. I think it's actually kind of amazing. Usually people don't think about that kind of stuff until they're middle-aged or dying. Then they think, I want to leave something behind, or I want to be remembered, like me. I only skipped ahead a little. My life was short, and seemed even shorter after my heart attack. I didn't think about what I was leaving behind because I very quickly thought there was almost nothing I was leaving behind. So all that was left was for me to stew in my own bitterness. Shizune already wants to leave her mark somewhere, but she wants to do it by helping people. That's why celebrations are so important to her. She even wants to be a philanthropist. I think that's the best way to live. Living on by what you give to others. Even if it's for a selfish reason, that's okay too. Shizune is already happy. Because if something goes well, there will be someone else to see it and remember it. That's what makes her happy. Misha sighs, arms stiff at her sides, hands tapping the air softly. Before I still thought I might be able to make Shizune happy, and I was in a good place to do it before. Since I was her interpreter, I could always be with her. Maybe... And I thought I would do it by becoming like Chi-chan's shadow. I kept trying, even when she rejected me. It felt like I was stuck and couldn't do anything but watch Chi-chan's back getting smaller as she kept going. I was scared, even though I should have just accepted it. It's hard. Maybe I could have at least understood Chi-chan. but it looks like I was completely wrong after all. I didn't even know that, or think about it. Chichan would call it a complete loss. Okay, I'm done. That's it, Hichan. But, since you're the one who knows Chichan best of all, you can't make her cry, or I'll be angry. I'm going to go overseas after this. I even have letters of recommendation, or I don't think I would be able to normally. Maybe I'll study and become a sign language teacher over there, who knows? That means you'll have to look after Shichan, okay? Misha's smile is as honest as ever, but she's completely changed. The look in her eyes is that of a much more attentive girl. It seems to be true that hardship builds wisdom. It reminds me of the look in Shizune's eyes. I wonder what Shizune might have been through to become who she is. I can take a guess, or maybe she was always like that. I want to see her even more, and suggest to Misha that we should look for her together. Of course, it's just a pretext to spend more time with a friend. It's strange how it hasn't been long since we last hung out together, the three of us, in the span of a routine student council day. Yet it seems like it was long ago. Thinking about the future, we can put that kind of lens over the past. Speaking of lenses. Outside, Yuko is standing around, fiddling with a tiny modern-looking camera in her hands. It would be unnoticeable if it weren't metallic enough to reflect the sunlight. Misha calls out to her. I thought we were supposed to be looking for Shizune. Hi. What are you doing? I'm just taking photos of everyone. That's obvious. Awkward. Misha, I'll never forget how you taught me that someone could hold so many secrets and still have a massive lack of tact. Where's my photo? You want a copy? I don't know. Well, only if you promise to keep it a secret, or everyone else will want one too. That happened to me in elementary school, only it was with candy. Okay, I'll take a photo of you now then. Oh wait, I'm not ready, I was just kidding. Hichan, make a peace sign. I'm not going to do that. The camera flash goes off, blinding me. Yuko shields herself behind it, letting out a moan of frustration. You're not supposed to turn the flash on outdoors. She starts apologizing unnecessarily, and then quickly slips away. Ah, wait. Yes? Did you see Chichan around here? Yes, in front of the gate. Thanks. I can barely get it out before I have to start following behind Misha. Fortunately, not for very long. The gate is barely a minute's walk from here. Even though that can be tiring for me sometimes. We see Shizune with the student council. They're probably thanking her too. As soon as she sees us, she shoos them away. Which is very easy, since I doubt any of them can understand sign language or use it. So they're not too sad about leaving. Which in turn makes you wonder why they would thank her without someone who can. But it's the thought that counts. Misha immediately hugs Shizune, and then leans against the gate. Next to her, I, on the other hand, decide to hang back a little, and let them talk. After all, Misha wanted to talk to Shizune this whole time. I can wait. I turn away so I don't eavesdrop on their conversation. I end up losing track of time. When I look at my watch, it's already been 10 minutes. I wonder if they're done, and turn around to find them behind me. What are you thinking about? Boring philosophical things. I don't want to talk about it. Don't worry, I'm not thinking about it too hard. Good, getting philosophical. Philosophical at a time like this would be the worst thing you could do. Yeah, I just want to stand here for a bit. It's relaxing. It was a busy week. Not really. Not for me. I know that they must have been busy, but I think I know what I want to do now. And when it hit me, I don't feel particularly fired up or anxious. It's the opposite. I feel at peace for the first time in a long time, and I want to savor that feeling a little more. I think I want to teach here. As soon as I thought this, a long winding road appeared in my mind, an uncertain road that leads back here. I wonder if I'll be able to meet someone in the future like me, someone filled with bitterness. I want to talk to that person. Since I can't talk to myself, I want to tell them that life is too short, something that couldn't be told to me, only shown. I want to do it without pity. If I had been pitied, I'm sure that I would have only died a little more. When I think about that first week, I still think about how well it went. So well that I could only be called the result of kindness. I feel like I want to show others the same kindness. And I also want to keep chasing Shizune. What did the new student council want, Shi-chan? It's hard to daydream when you have to deal with Misha's voice. I didn't know they had someone who knew sign language. They don't. I think it was most likely just a goodbye. I appreciate it even though I couldn't tell them. How did you know I was here? It's supposed to be a secret. Anyway, we asked Yuko. Did she take a photo of you too? Yes, without asking me first. Since Yuko is doing spur of the moment is rare, though I'll let it go. She snaps her fingers, more because I think she likes it than out of realization of an idea. We should take a photo of the three of us. We haven't taken a student council photo yet. Now's the perfect chance. But if I have to look at this picture from a year from now, I don't want it staring back at me. Huh? What does that mean, Shi-chan? Pictures are supposed to capture the moment, isn't that right? Without a doubt. They're not portraits. Just standing around would be so stiff, it wouldn't even capture how I feel. I feel like we'll meet again. So, this isn't an occasion to take such a serious photo. It should be like a see you later type of photo, not a big deal. It should be something more festive. Oh boy. Like this, follow me. Shizune poses like a musketeer, so quickly that I'm sure even she knows it's silly. Do we really have to do such a cheesy pose? I can think of no better pose. Misha, go find Yuko. I don't like this pose either, but I think it's kind of nice. That doesn't even make sense. She's already gone, and returns dragging Yuko behind her. The flash is off. A red LED blinks 3 times above it. After Yuko's finger presses the button, Shizune glances at both of us to make sure we have the timing down. Synchronized watches, we jump. I bet that turned out excellently. Okay. Now let's get one with Yuko too. No, please. That's not necessary. I want a copy of this photo too. I'll likely die younger than the average person. My life could unexpectedly burn out at any time. I don't have any time to waste then. I want to live as much as possible. I also want to see other people smile from what I've made and done. Living vicariously through the happiness of others doesn't seem so bad. Feeling joy through another person's happiness doesn't seem like such a bad thing. It's the easiest way I can think of to draw out my own life and give it distinction. Maybe this is the meaning that Shizune has found for herself. Although, it's just my theory. People find themselves alone often in their lives and without direction. However, people can take refuge in moments of happiness. They can also dot a person's life like stops on a train map, or waypoints of memory on a long trail. These individual moments on reflection can give a person's life fulfillment. Every friend and festival and joyful meeting and joyful parting. I want to be able to ask Shizune one day if I'm right. I want to spend the time I have with her. Finally, I want to make Shizune smile for herself. I love you. I pause, wondering if she'll look at me, confused, and ask why I say that out of the blue. She doesn't. Did they do that reunion thing here? Of course they do. A student council member should know that. Sooner than that, though, okay? Both of you. Right. Yeah. Yuko, you do the pose too. Afterwards, we can go for tea. Shizune laughs, as if she doesn't have a care in the world. Misha's laughter joining with hers as easily as if it were her own. We'll meet again. Okay. I'm gonna say it. That route was a lot better than I remembered. Yeah, like, can you tell me what you think? Reach Shizune's good ending. So, yeah, that... I don't know why. I was under the impression that this route was boring. And it's probably because, I was pretty much just... probably just watching YouTube videos on this game, like, non-stop. probably why I thought it was boring. I don't know. Well, not exactly non-stop, quote unquote, but like I watched a good chunk of this as a let's play. So but you know, it's this route is actually pretty good. Like I didn't think it was bad. Like, yeah, sure, I think the romance part of it was lackluster, and Shizune as a character definitely is like on the lower rings of like all of the girls in this game. But you know, I thought it was pretty good. Plus, you know, yeah, even though Hizawa is gonna have a short life, I feel like, you know, I feel like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, I was fully prepared to just like not want to play play this game anymore. So let's look at this. Let's look at this. So, okay, all right, the last square, like behind the question mark, I'm pretty sure is the one I get for getting 100%. So yeah, I have all these. Yeah, apparently this is right after this, even though these two appear before this. Oh well. So yeah. So yeah, just ignore the yeah. Basically, pretty much just go through Lily and Hanako. Actually, wait a second. Where on earth? Oh, there's Genji. Okay, I was like, wait a second. So yeah, there's these two blocks over here, and so yeah, I guess I'll pay more attention after the next route I intend to complete. So library completion 68%, and as you can see, we got all of Shizune's done. So yeah, all of Rin done. All of Emmy done. Next is Hanako and Lily. So, also, I'm actually going to be taking a break. A real break this time, not like, you know, not like, well, might as well go back. So, yeah. Basically, 2 routes left, right? I have the rest of Act 1, 2 routes left, and then I'm going to be done with the game. So, yeah, this is like, okay, this is, I want to say 32% more of the game, so like, literally a third left, and then I'm done. So yeah, honestly, I'm excited. And I know for a fact that one of these is a music box. One of the extra songs. So anyways, well, thank you for watching. It's been Dean the Autist. Have a nice day. Completed Shizune's route. Next, I don't know. Probably Hanako's route. I want to go down Hanako's route first, because I think Lily's route is one of the best in the game, in my personal opinion. But have a nice day, and thank you for watching. It's been Dean the Autist. Goodbye.